Hello everyone, today I'm going to be trying Koi Palace for the first time and I'm going to be getting some of their famous dim sum. Koi Palace is a Bay Area institution and they've been serving up Chinese food and dim sum for many years now and they've won multiple awards for everything they do there. For some reason I've never tried out Koi Palace before even though I've lived in the Bay Area for years and I love dim sum because I love all the different dishes and I love the variety. So my goal is to try them out and get as many different things as I possibly can. I've eaten a lot of dim sum over the years, so I feel like I definitely have a palate for what is good dim sum. So let's go. I can't wait to see how great their food's gonna be. I just arrived here at Koi Palace and I placed my order. The way you place your order is by writing down on this menu and checking off the items that you want, and then they bring it back to the kitchen and then they'll bring out another one for you. So this is my new menu. Oftentimes people like to order their dim sum in multiple courses. They'll order some food and then go back and order some more, so that's why they give you the extra menu. However, I did order everything that I wanted, but who knows, maybe I'm gonna get a couple more items of some things that I really like. I also love the way they do their tea here. They bring out a teapot and they put it on top of a candle to keep it nice and hot, because everyone knows the best type of tea is hot tea to go with dim sum. Nobody likes cold tea, and I got some jasmine tea, which is really refreshing. I'm definitely excited for the food to come out. I ordered so many different dishes, and Koi Palace is definitely a Bay Area staple since it's been in the Bay Area for so many years. The first item I'm going to be trying is the beef tripe, which is beef intestine, and I love that it comes with a spicy soy sauce on the side that's floating with jalapenos, and they leave the seeds in, so I feel like it's going to be a bit on the spicy side. This is probably the best beef tripe I've ever had. It's definitely the most tender tripe. It is so soft. Usually tripe is a bit on a rubbery side and a bit chewy, but not this one. It's so delicate and soft, incredibly fresh too. And the sauce is the perfect complement. It's not too much, it's not too overpowering. It's a very lightly sweet soy sauce with just a little bit of heat from the jalapenos. It's actually not that spicy, especially if you don't get any seeds or chunks of jalapeno with it. Now for one of my favorites, these are their beef meatballs, and I'm gonna give it a dip in a sweet soy sauce. I love these beef meatballs. They're so soft and tender and juicy. What I love is that the meat is ground up very finely, so it has a really nice and bouncy almost texture. And there's a little bit of cilantro in there just to add a tiny bit of fragrance. And I also love the flavor of the pepper in there, which adds a nice kick. Now for their pork spare ribs and black bean sauce, and this is one of my all-time dim sum favorites. They do a pretty solid job on their pork spare ribs here. I love the quality of their meat. It's really nice and fatty, and I like that there's a lot of meat in terms of how much is on the bone, so I feel like you're getting your money's worth. However, my only wish is that there would be a little bit more black bean sauce because it would just add a little bit more extra flavor. But overall, not bad. I really love their meat here. This is one of my most anticipated dishes. This is their rainbow sampler of Shanghai Dumplings, and this is one of the things that Koi Palace is really known for. I'm going to start off with their juicy pork Shanghai Dumpling, which is basically like their version of a soup dumpling. They do a great job with their pork soup dumpling. I love that it's not overly rich. There could be a little bit more soup, but the soup that's in there is really light and refreshing. It has a very nice ginger flavor. It's quite fragrant, and the meat filling is so delicate and soft, it just kind of breaks apart in your mouth, and it's really tender and flavorful. And I love the extra chew that you get from the dumpling skin as well. Now for their beet skin one, and this is filled with minced beef. Ooh, I love this one. It's really quite interesting. The outside definitely tastes like a beet skin. It has almost like a carrot-like flavor for some reason, and the inner beef filling literally tastes exactly like the beef meatball, which I love. So I think those two flavors go really well together in a juicy, soupy dumpling. The next one is their paprika skin filled with chicken. This one has a very similar taste to the beef, a little bit gingery, a little bit carroty, and definitely get a nice juiciness from the chicken, and it actually has a decent amount of flavor, so I feel like they use chicken thigh in here, which I really appreciate. It definitely helps make it a bit on the juicier side. This next dumpling I'm really looking forward to, I'm quite curious about it, is their turmeric skin filled with crab roe. Oh yeah, this one I love. It's the perfect combination and symphony of flavors. You have some juicy pork as well as some crab meat mixed up with crab roe. I don't see the roe, but I can taste it. You just get this rich, seafoody, briny flavor that's so addicting. The next one is the spinach skin with kale. I don't know how this one sounds. Definitely sounds a little bit more on the subtle side, but let's see how this is. I think it'll be pretty interesting. I've never had a spinach or kale dumpling before. I'm not really too sure how I feel about this one. The outside definitely has an intense spinach flavor because of the skin, and on the inside you have a chicken filling mixed with kale, which I think is a bit on the strong side. And also, for some reason, it also tastes a little bit greasy while simultaneously tasting very vegetably. So I don't know how I feel about this one. You might like this if you like vegetables, but it's definitely a bit on the rich side, surprisingly. I definitely saved the most exciting one for last. This is the Squid Ink Skin filled with black truffle. That's right, black truffle. Oh man, this one's incredible. Definitely the best dumpling in here. This is definitely the juiciest. It's filled to the brim with soup. As you bite into it, it just releases this intensely flavored truffly soup, and then as you chew the filling, even more truffle flavor is just extracted in your mouth because there's whole chunks of truffle mixed in with the meat filling. So flavorful, so intense. Definitely feel like I'm getting my money's worth with all the truffle that's in here. Now for an item that some of you might find quite unusual. This is their chicken feet and black bean sauce. Chicken feet is definitely a staple at dim sum. Pretty much everyone gets it. In fact, my grandma would always order this whenever we went out to dim sum, and she really loved these, and I love them as well. They're just little fatty bites of heaven, and if you get over the idea of them being feet, they're really tasty. They do a really good job with their chicken feet here. You can definitely taste that they've been marinated in that black bean sauce for such a long time, so the flavor really penetrates all the way deep down inside the foot. And the foot is a lot of fun to eat because there's a lot of small pieces of bone and cartilage, so you kind of pick your way around there. There's not a lot of meat, mostly just like fat and collagen like tissue, and it's just a lot of fun to eat. And it's so flavorful. They definitely do a great job because it's also not overly greasy either. Now for another type of dumpling. These are their dumplings in chili oil, and it looks like some sort of steamed or either boiled dumpling served in a chili sauce, so it seems quite flavorful, and it smells fragrant and garlicky. This one is decent, although I wish it was more meaty. I love the dumpling skin, very soft and delicate. This chili sauce is nice and fragrant, not overly spicy, just really intensely garlicky. And the filling, I do wish would be a little bit more meaty. It's a mixture of pork and green onion, but there's so many green onions in there, that's definitely the dominating flavor, even over the pork. So I do wish it was a little bit more meaty, but definitely not bad if you like some sort of chili-like dumplings. Now for the fried crispy taro puffs filled with minced pork. This looks like such an indulgent treat. Wow, indulgent that is. It's such a flavorful pork filling. I love that they put some black mushrooms in there, and then it's covered in taro paste, which almost reminds me of a potato, a very potato-like tasting. And then the outside is covered in some sort of breadcrumbs and then deep fried. It's really nice and crispy and golden brown, and it's also very light, not too greasy, but it's definitely rich just from all that taro meat in there. Now for one of their specials. This is their barbecue pork rice roll with egg and cilantro. Definitely looks a little bit heavy on the cilantro. We'll see how I like it because I'm not the biggest cilantro person. I love this one. The rice roll is so delicate and soft, melts in your mouth. The egg adds a nice flavor and a little bit more chew to it. And then the pork filling is so nice. The barbecue pork is just in this sweet, sticky, comforting sauce. We finally made it to our last item. I'm so stuffed, but I gotta push through for this last one. This is their Lotus Leaf filled with sticky rice and chicken. So it's a mixture of sticky rice, ground chicken, cut up mushrooms, as well as even some dried scallop. And to top it all off, you have a little bit of Chinese sausage in there, which really adds a nice saltiness. So I'm looking forward to this bite. This is, again, another one of my dim sum favorites, sticky rice. Oh yeah, the sticky rice pleases every time. I love the texture of the rice. It's so chewy, and it definitely coats your mouth in its stickiness, and it's so flavorful. I love the flavor. It just absorbs the flavor of that lotus leaf, so it has this sort of leafy taste in the best way possible. Then I also love the flavor of the dried scallops in there. Really nice and fishy and sort of briny. And then you get a little bit of Chinese sausage for some savoriness, a little bit of woodiness from the mushroom in there. It's just a wonderful combination of flavors. Definitely a must try if you've never had this before. I was wrong about the sticky rice being our last item. We have 2 more items. This is their old-fashioned crusty baked barbecue pork buns. It almost looks like a pineapple bun, except it's not yellow. It has a crusty top, which I assume might be sugar. Then of course the inside is filled with their delicious barbecue pork meat. Oh wow, no way. This is literally the best barbecue pork bun I've ever had. The outside is almost like a dessert. Definitely does taste like a pineapple bun. The bun itself is nice and sweet and soft and fluffy. And you get a really nice crunchy shell on the outside that's basically like a sugar shell. And then the inside is so interesting. It's filled with that same delicious barbecue pork that was in the rice roll. Sticky, savory, slightly sweet. And you also have even a little bit of onions in there. So unique. I've never had anything like this before, but it's definitely the peak of salty and sweet combined together. It's really so interesting. It's almost like dessert crossed with your barbecue pork in the best way possible. So good. I swear, even the outside is so delicious. I would literally just eat the bun without the pork. It would be such a nice sweet treat, but paired with the pork, it makes it even more indulgent and tasty. Now for actual dessert, this is their Portuguese Egg Tart, and the crust is looking incredible. It's not as good as the egg tarts at Golden Gate Bakery in San Francisco, which is basically like the pinnacle of egg tarts, but these Portuguese egg tarts are still addicting. The crust is really nice and flaky, so buttery. I taste a lot of butter in there. Also taste maybe some sort of shortening or lard that definitely gives it even more flakiness, which is kind of interesting, but still quite nice. And then the filling is incredible as well. So rich and eggy, and it definitely tastes like a fresh homemade filling. And then the top, it just has this really nice brown color on top. I'm finally done with that feast. I am so full now. I definitely feel like I need to take a nap when I get back home, but the food was so delicious. I'm gonna have so many tasty leftovers. If I had to point you towards some of my favorites, they definitely were the sticky rice. Again, sticky rice is so delicious and they do it so well here. There's so much filling, so I really appreciate that. And you also have to try those rainbow Shanghai dumplings. So unique. I've never had that much variety of dumplings with one dish, and they were all so unique. And I really love some of the flavors, especially the crab roe one, which is so unique and briny and flavorful, and the truffle one, which was so intensely woody and truffly. And also, you really have to try that crusty barbecue pork bun. It's one of the items they're really known for, and I can see why. It's the best pork bun I've ever had, and possibly ever will have. It's just the pinnacle of saltiness and sweet, and it's just a match made in heaven. It's crazy to think that it was so crowded today. I got here at 10:40, and I didn't actually have to wait. I'd say the restaurant was about 2/3 full, but now I've been here for almost 2 hours. It's about 12:30, and it looks like there's even a bit of wait for a table because it's just so huge in here, so many tables, but when you get here too late, it gets insanely crowded, so definitely get here early. Such an incredible dim sum experience, definitely one of the best dim sum meals I've ever had, no exaggeration. For sure the best dim sum I've had in the Bay Area. Definitely check out Koi Palace, and I've heard that their original location here in Daly City is the best, so definitely make sure to head over here ASAP. Their dim sum is so delicious and so unique and tasty. And yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.